Welcome to Such Park on the campus at Kadlec Regional Medical Center, and another milestone of construction regarding our River Pavilion expansion project. It was just in April we were here to send balloons into the air to signify the start of the next round of construction here at the River Pavilion, which will bring 4 more floors of patient rooms here at Kadlec. And so today is another significance, relative mainly in the construction side of things, and that's why we have all of the guys doing the work behind us to celebrate what the construction means today and why we're all here. I want to also acknowledge the great partnership that Kadlec has enjoyed over the years with the city of Richland, Cindy and her team, and I see Councilman Lemley here, and I'm not sure if anybody else, if they're here, I haven't seen you arrive, but thank you so much for joining us today. And again, thank you for the wonderful partnership that we've forged through the years to allow projects like this in this part of the city of Richland that we're so proud to be a part of.
This project is in response to a tremendous community need and the inability of Kadlec to grow as fast as the community need has grown for healthcare in this community. Every time we have to transfer a patient or deny a transfer of a patient from another hospital in our region as a result of not having sufficient capacity, it's very, very painful for us. But it's far more painful for the patient and for the patient's family, who have to travel long distances to receive the care when we're not able to meet that need in this community. This project will add over 90 private patient rooms to the capacity of Kadlec, and it will also double and potentially triple the capacity of our ICU in treating the most critical and the most needy of patients in the region. We look forward to what this project will bring to Kadlec and to the community in terms of services and patients and people who will receive the benefit of this expansion for many, many years to come.
The significance is clear to those of us that work in healthcare. We have turned away so many patients, and our normal busy time of the year is in the winter. And we've been turning away some patients this summer. And I remember a weekend last winter where we turned away 17 patients in one weekend. Hospitals in the region that wanted to transfer patients to us. There's 17 families that went to either Spokane, Seattle, or Portland. So clearly we're trying to keep up with the community need. For 15 years now, we've been running as fast as we can run to keep up with the community demand and for the services to keep them in town. And I think when this is done, it's going to be the first time in 15 years we've really been caught up. And this is going to put us ahead of the curve finally. Jim asked me to comment a little bit about Providence. Providence is right now 35 hospitals, and they have a college and a high school and some other things, nursing homes, and they're a $16 billion a year business. That's what it'd be. So we've joined an organization that gives us the ability to dig pretty deep, and they have a lot of resources. And basically, when we joined them, part of what they committed to was a way for us to finance this facility. And we cheated a little bit. We had the design for the building and the design for the parking lot pretty close to done when we joined them. And we immediately started construction as soon as we joined Providence. And it's been about 15 months, and it's working really well. And I guess the last piece is I think this project clearly demonstrates Kadlec's commitment to the highest quality of care for our region. We've always had a few semi-private beds. Like I said, we've never been able to get ahead of the curve. This will allow us to have all private rooms. It will allow us to go back and remodel some of the older rooms if we want to down the road, from semi-private into private if we need them. And we'll actually have a few more beds than what we're licensed for, so as we grow in need and get our license to expand, we'll already have some of those beds and we'll simply put them in service. So this is a huge step. I remember back in 2003, my team started talking about we need to expand and we need to build a large building for lots of beds, new operating rooms, and seemed like a pipe dream. And it was like a dream come true when we opened up the existing building in June of '08. And at that time, we had a couple of empty floors. The 5th and 6th floors were empty. And we said, well, someday we'll have to build those out. Well, someday was less than 18 months. And then we said, well, someday we'll add the top 4 floors. And we thought that was way, way out there. And what is this, 7 years later, and we're putting them up. So the significance is real. It's going to change healthcare in our community. It's going to change the hospitalization experience, and you're going to go to all private rooms. And I'm really proud that we could get this done.
The first and probably the most important reason that we do topping out ceremonies, as far as I'm concerned, is to thank guys like this who have helped us get to where we are today. So this is an acknowledgement for the construction workers, and probably there's been about 150 of them already that have been on the project, and that is the results of their efforts today, and I think we owe them a huge round of applause. And to all of you, I would thank you for everything that you have done. For those of you who were here during the months of June and July with those absolutely scorching temperatures and incredibly difficult conditions, all of us really appreciate what you've done and the manner in which you've conducted yourselves in working on a very, very difficult project. I was up there a few times, and after about 10 minutes, I was so hot I had to go back in the air-conditioned office. So for what you did and the way you moved through those difficult times, we really appreciate it. And our sincere thanks for a job well done so far, and we do have a ways to go. I'd also just briefly like to thank everybody who is supporting the construction crew, and there's too many people to acknowledge. I will tell you, a job like that where you have 6 floors of patient care going on below a complex hospital project, there's certainly been a lot of coordination and efforts that the hospital has made to take care of their patients as we've been making noise and doing all those other things right above them. So to the hospital staff who's helped us, thank you very much. I will tell you that I need to give you a little bit of background on a topping out ceremony. So in addition to acknowledging the construction workers, topping out ceremonies go back a long ways, and you can see the beam here that is just getting ready to be placed. Many people have signed that beam, so it's been sitting out in the front, and people have been able to write their name on that, so that'll forever be a part of the building. And then the flag that's hanging on that, of course, that just goes without even telling you the reason. That's obvious, that it's just a very patriotic symbol and gesture that has gone on for a very long time. The Christmas tree on top is a tradition that, if you read the internet, there's many stories as to where that came about. I'll tell you what they used to do back in as early as 1621. This is hot off the internet. It says that we do know that as early as 621 BC, the Romans celebrated the completion of the pons sublicius, I guess that's a bridge, over the Tiber River by throwing human beings into the water as sacrifices to the gods. In ancient China, the ridgepole of a new structure was smeared with chicken blood as a substitute for human blood in hopes of fooling the gods. It was widely believed that civil spirits may have occupied the structure, and this is why, through the Middle Ages, local priests or rabbi had a special blessing for new homes, places of worship, and public buildings. So we've come a long way, actually. There's nobody that's going to be thrown in such crick today. But the Christmas tree, really, the best explanation of it, for it being on the beam, is the tree is always the Indians believe that the tree is always supposed to be the highest spot on a building. So when the beam is lifted today, that tree will in fact be near one of the highest points on the building.
So many people have mentioned to me it's so exciting to see the building finally going up, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't say this to people, but I say, well, I'm just a small portion of this whole puzzle that's been happening since 2003, as Rand said, because the project, although I've been working on the project for a couple of years now in the planning and design, and now we're moving into the construction phase, there was a plan for this far, far back, all the way into the early 2000s to build the River Pavilion existing, and then also there was a lot of forethought put into it to design the structure so that we could build the additional 4 floors on the top of it. So I'll just touch finally on the upcoming schedule for the River Pavilion. You can see the concrete the concrete trucks are here and the pumps are here. We're pouring the 10th floor today. I'd tell them to keep it down a little bit, but they're busy working away while we're celebrating the topping out ceremony. The envelope is the next big milestone that's going to be coming up. We're going to be starting that in mid-October, so we're going to be starting to put the skin on the building, and that'll be complete by about the end of the year, probably more like early January. So the building will be enclosed, and unfortunately for the rest of us, we won't be able to see all the fun construction activity after early in the new year, and then the tradespeople will continue to work inside the building. we're going to disassemble. The crane will be going away in about mid-March. And so that's another big milestone that's going on. The hoistway that's on the exterior of the building will stay all the way through next summer. So that's the main access point for all these fellas and myself to get up into the job site. You can see the Morrow crane, and the hoist. We're going to be adding a second one there as well. So those are a few of the milestones, and then of course the final milestone, the milestone that we're all shooting for, is October 3rd, 2016. That's when we're hoping to get the first patients in for Kathy's floors. Kathy Christensen has been a major stakeholder in the project here, and that's the 8th floor. And then Nancy, I don't think she could make it today, but that's 10th floor. So 8th and 10th floor are hoping to open up in early October, and then the 7th and the 9th floors will be opened up just prior to Christmas of 2016. So those are our final milestones.